And I think to kind of get into the nitty gritty of the game itself, I think the biggest issue the first PlayStation All-Stars had was the fact that it was so clearly a Smash Bros. Ripoff. And I say ripoff not inherently in a bad way. It makes sense. And especially as a Sony fan, you know, I love Nintendo and I love Smash Bros. But I always wanted to see the Sony version of it because they have, like I said, just as many, if you know, characters that arguably come from an even wider range of games. So to be able to see Sony do it in the first game was great, but it just gameplay wise, they were clearly like, all right, we're going to make this sort of like four-player fighting game platformer-esque controls where you're hopping around the stage and it's kind of free movement. But we don't want to be exactly like Smash Bros. So they came up with this weird KO system. Yeah, and they came up with this really weird KO system where the only way to get KOs and to get points was to use a special move on the enemy. So the game was all about building your special meter, but certain characters had just really good level 1 specials, so the balance was totally off.
Kratos was unstoppable.
Kratos, Raiden, like a couple other characters were just like I remember Ratchet and Clank had a really good level 1 super that was like impossible to block. There was just
I don't know if it was because my brother didn't know what was happening, but I remember like giving him the business as Parappa the Rappa. And I don't know what I was doing. Like I don't know if it was just he was really, really, really OP or if it was just neither of us like zero skill, zero output type thing. Or zero input.
So if they do bring back PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, I think we're going to see a title change. Maybe it'll just be PlayStation All-Stars 2. But the fact is, they're not going to use the term Battle Royale because now that means something else in video games.
Different.
Unless they make it a Battle Royale, which would be interesting.
I mean, you could argue that like as you get dropped on, you're picking up items and stuff like that. It's not like a first-person Battle Royale, but if you wanted to...
But I think if they could just lean it as a fighting game, that. Which is, I mean, honestly, I would be interested to see PlayStation All-Stars karting or PlayStation All-Stars, you know, tennis. I don't fucking care. Just like some other like form of like, or PlayStation All-Stars the RPG, like a big
PlayStation All-Stars Party
isn't that Party as well, you know. But I think what is most likely is a return to the fighting game format. I just think what they should do is not try to do the Smash Bros thing, or if they do, just lean into it and just do the Smash Bros thing the same way like Brawlhalla and like a couple other games are just like, look, it works, you know? I mean, everyone ripped off Street Fighter 2 after that came out. So let's just like, Smash Bros is the Street Fighter 2 of the party fighting game, you know? So like, let's just do it. Let's just, you know, like that shit happens all the time. So
do you think compared to Smash, they would go more competitive or more casual? Because I feel like you're feeding into a more competitive like audience. Like I feel like
I agree, but I also think the issue is because the characters, like, how do you have, like, you need to come up with a gameplay style that can allow Nathan Drake and Kratos to fight in the same arena, which is why I think the kind of, like, free-moving style of Smash Bros. Or the first game fits. That said, I think they could serve, especially if they are aiming more towards competitively, to switch back to maybe more of the 1v1 style of more traditional fighting games, maybe somewhere in the middle. I'm not saying go as like over the top as like Dragon Ball, but the way Dragon Ball is accessible and you can move around the field of play a lot better, I think that's the way to go. Maybe like instead of taking Smash Bros. As a whole and making it this big party game, take like the competitive, be inspired directly by the competitive aspect of Smash Bros, where it's smaller stages 1v1, but there's still a lot of movement around the stage. There's off-stage play, things like that. That's the way I could see it going, and at least personally, that's what I would prefer. Because obviously, I don't want them to do the same KO system they had in the first one. I'd rather build from the ground up again. Yeah,
I like the idea of multiple ways to win, though. Like of multiple kill scenarios. Like I think if they kept the original kill, like those kill conditions, because I'm pretty sure you could also fall off the stages. Am I wrong?
No, I don't think so. I think you would just respawn and lose like charge, but I could be wrong. I mean, regardless, I think the idea is don't necessarily do like the ring out. Like the way Smash Bros, you have to knock someone off the stage. It could still be maybe health based, whereas you're still charging special meter. Because I like the idea of special attacks being worked into competitive play because one, again, plenty of classic arcade fighting games have special moves that you charge up. But also it's a good way of like further representing the scope of some of these characters, you know,
or just the franchises themselves. Like if you wanted to bring in Like if I'm just looking at the character list from the last game, like for Dante, if his had everyone from the Devil May Cry games come in, like Virgil, and that's the only one that I can remember from those games. Virgil and Nero, and Adam Driver. I can't remember
What?
There's a character in Devil May Cry 5 who looks like Adam Driver, and he just reads poetry. I'm saying like V. Like I'm saying, like V from Devil May Cry 5 looks like Adam Driver. So if I ever just say Adam, because we're gonna keep talking about it. Right. If I say Adam Driver in the future in reference to Devil May Cry, it is V.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So